Welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell, proudly sponsored by That Prize Guy. This week's special guest is Jack Power, a professional boxer from Runcorn. In this episode, Jack talks about his journey into boxing, what it takes to dedicate your life to the sport, and the mindset needed to step into the ring. We get into the sacrifices fighters make, the ups and downs that come with chasing success, and what drives him to keep pushing forward in such a tough sport. It's an honest conversation about discipline, resilience, and the realities of life as a fighter. Thanks for listening and watching this episode.
Weren't happy, fighting all the time. You almost feel when you're coming out of school, if you don't know what to do, you failed. The good thing is with boxing, you learn life lessons quick, it comes at you fast.
Welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell, proudly sponsored by That Prize Guy. This week's special guest is professional boxer Jack Power. Got a proper warrior joining us today, a really good friend, a fella who knows what it's like to step through the ropes when the lights are on and there's nowhere to hide. We're going to be diving right into the good, the bad and the ugly, boxing, sacrificing, setbacks, the mindset and what it really takes to being a professional boxer. Really looking forward to sharing the good, the bad and the ugly. How are we, mate?
Yeah, all good, Tony. Good, yeah. Good to be on.
Listen, Jack, you know, we've been mates for, you know, a good few years and stuff, and, you know, we've been there and spoke about certain things, and the one thing I'll always remember is, like, when we started the podcast, you said one day, so when I do a podcast, I'm going to give you the first opportunity to come on and share my story, and now we're here today. So me and Ben are just so grateful for you sticking to your word. And listen, we're going to go through good, bad and ugly, but you know, when you spoke to me and you said to me, just I think it's time, and I was like, Jack, time's whenever you want it to be, and you know, I'm just glad you're here, and it's all going to be good. And listen, there might be a little bit of bad and might be a bit of ugly, but it's the good that's come from it and where you're at today. So I just want to start from where you're from, where you grew up, family life and school life was like.
Yeah, from Runcorn, and I've got 3 brothers and a little sister. It was crazy, as you can imagine, with 5 kids in the house. It was mad, especially I was the youngest of the boys, so I didn't get away with much, do you know what I mean? I was always getting filled in all the time.
I bet you there's all kinds of carry on in that house, like,
yeah, crazy, to be fair. It's made me who I am today though, to be fair, and you know, you teaches your character, you know what I mean?
When you're a kid and all that, and you think, you know, the goings on, the fighting in the house, getting up to mischief like you do and stuff, and like it does shape you as the person you become today. But as a kid, you're pretty, you know, you're unknown to certain things and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you say, you had your brothers, you had your sister and all that. What was them times like, you know, when some of the mischievous stuff you got up to, what was it like?
It's always, you know, I used to get blamed for everything, you know what I mean? Like, my brothers are all crazy, you know, all the lads just used to knock the stuffing out of each other, you know what I mean?
Pillars on your hands, boxing and all that.
That's it, yeah, and then my sister, she was like the wind up, do you know what I mean? She would like poke, you know, wind me up and then run off, and then Jack's done this and thinking, I haven't here.
And then you're getting filled in and that.
Yeah, and I'm getting filled in by my brothers and then getting filled in by my parents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it was good. I tell you what, there's a few stories that, you know, obviously growing up with brothers and that, I'll tell you one. So I used to, back in the day, I used to have the little Sony Ericsson phones, and I used to have a little army speaker, and my sister had a pop party CD. And I used to sing and all that, listen to music, always loved me music.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I can sing, me. You know what I mean? I've got a bit of a voice, thinking, so I get my phone, get me Sony Ericsson, so then I'm starting singing. But the song I'm singing Natasha Bedingfield. You know, these words are my own. So I'm pelting it out. No one's in the house. I'm on my own in my room. You know, bearing in mind I share a room with my brother, so with Varsity, and singing this song, play it back. I'm like, yeah, I can't sing. You know what I mean? But forget to delete it. One thing leads to another anyway. Leave me phone, forget about it, and then it's probably about 2 weeks later. I just heard the lads upstairs, the boys used to share a room upstairs in the loft, and I just heard them all barely laughing. And you know, it's that type of laugh where you're in for it or something, you know what I mean? And I just freeze, I just go, oh no, where's my phone? So I'm like, where's my phone here? So I'm scanning the room thinking, oh no, no. And our Steve's a wind up, proper wind up. Do you know what I mean? And he, I knew I can't find his phone, and I just heard him laughing. And the next minute I hear Steve going, these words. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm like trying to like waiting for them to shout me or something. I'm thinking, oh, shut my door, and I'm sweating. So in the end, laughing, I go upstairs, and they're like, I got this, and like, give me my phone, let me getting embarrassed and that. And then I'm trying to fight him to get off it, and the next minute I just get levered by them all, then get dead arm, dead leg, getting pinned down on the floor. Do you know what I mean? All because I was singing that song. It was funny.
But it's memories like that though, Jack, that, you know, you'd say and you think to yourself, but I bet you now when you hear that song, because you always hear that song on the radio or something, and you think to yourself, oh, fuck, that's Sony Ericsson phones, you know what I mean? It just brings back memories, you know what I
always think, why didn't I just delete that? You know what I mean? Why did I think I could sing anyway?
What was school like for you, Jack?
School's, it was good. It was alright. I just couldn't concentrate in school.
Yeah.
I had a bit. It was just I didn't know what I was a bit of a joker. Do you know what I mean? So
like me, like us all, Jack. I think a lot of us didn't like, you know, we couldn't concentrate or whatever, and you know, it's one of them where you find something like you become the class joker. I can't imagine you to be a class joker. Do you know what I mean?
It. Well, to be fair, without going into too much, school was a bit of an escape. You know what I mean? At times, so I'd go in and have a bit of a laugh with the lads, and then you know what I mean, I'll do something, you know, make a little fart noise or something, and everyone's giggling, and then I'm looking at everyone like, you know, and they're all laughing, and you get kicked out.
Yeah.
Looking through the window and that, and everyone's
pulling faces and all.
You're there thinking you're a legend and that, but you know what I mean, you're not. That's something I do regret now. You know what I mean?
Do you know when you say you regret it? It's like when we're kids and like your brothers and your sister and all that, who are all, you know, all adults now, and you think to yourself, when they say that to you, it's like school, like the best times. And like when you're a kid, you're thinking, no, what are you on about? But when as you become an adult, you think to yourself,
yeah,
they are the best times because
you have your mates every day.
Your mates and that. Yeah. When did you fall in love with boxing, Jack? Between
10 and 12. So what happened with boxing was my brothers used to go first.
To the boys?
They used to go, yeah, and then one day my dad took me, and I remember he was come home and he was like, oh, you don't want to go boxing? I was like, yeah, go on. He's like, oh, I'll get you gloves, I'll get you boots and all that. I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'm going to get some stuff. I'm getting stuff here. We grew up in a house of all the kids. You don't really get much off them.
Yeah, when there's a few, yeah.
So I'm there, start panicking then, thinking, no, it's been dead nice here. I'm going to get all this stuff. So on the way into the gym, I walk into the gym, everyone's hitting the bag and all that. And I'm thinking, you know, it's a bit
daunting, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I go in and he's like, oh, you know what I mean, carry on, I'll get you these gloves, I'll do this. And in the end I walked out and I'm like, fuck, it's just a bit all too much to take at first.
Overwhelming, but you're
overwhelming. So I was like, no, I don't want to do this. So we ended up leaving. And then that was it then. I got home and my brothers obviously start, don't they? You're scared and all that. And they're just ripping into me, the back ending, you know, ripping into me all the time. And then it wasn't until school, I was going to school and that. And the Boise was on the back of my school.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I'll take it upon myself, sick of getting beat up by my brothers and all that. Then I thought, I'll go myself. So I had some dinner money, saved me dinner money. Thought, right, I'll use that to go boxing. Didn't want to tell anyone because I was just getting, you know, everyone was always joking to me about it. And I thought, I'll go and I
want to prove them wrong.
Yeah, so I was going. And then that was it then. Went there and got the bug.
And then obviously the Boise, for like, because obviously we're from Runcorn and all that. Like John Lally, you know, he's a fella from Runcorn who's got everyone in Runcorn's got the utmost respect for John. He's done a lot for the town, for the boxing, and you know, like the likes of yourself. And did John play a big part, you know, when you come into the gym and all that? And
John was a legend. One, he was like he was like a father figure to everyone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he had a lot of time for everyone. He was always in the gym. You know, the gym was open, I think every day but Saturday. You know what I mean? So all the evenings, I think it was from like, I don't know, at least 5 till 7, 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? So every evening, he was in the gym, and on a Sunday, 10 till 12. So he's dedicated that time for years. You know, changing kids, loads of people's lives, and also in the boxing gym, you're meeting all friends, people who now you still speak to. You know what I
And
mean?
it's they all come from different walks of life as well. Do you know what I mean? And I think going to a boxing gym, like you said, it's very daunting. But when you go into a boxing gym, that gets put aside, and like you say, you're probably scared at first, but then you thought, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. And when you've been invited into the gym, and you've got the likes of John Lally, who like he's still here today, and he's one of them fellas who got the utmost respect for. He does so much for the town, and it's people like John. To what you're doing now, you probably like think back, and I always see you speaking so highly of him. He's a lovely fella. Do you know what I mean?
Anyone from round here will know John or would have been on the pads with John.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know anyone
Who's been into the gym and that? Yeah, yeah.
Have you unless
I've had a little go, like, but
no,
I'm, not,
that's what I mean.
I'm like Rocky Marshmallow, never mind Rocky Marciano. Do you know what I mean? Do you know? But
no, large majority of people from round here have been the Boise.
yeah,
The gym, the smell of it when you walk in. You know what I mean? Do you know what funny thing about the Boise? Speaking to one of your mates, he lives in New York now, and he was just he was telling me about. He went, "Do you remember the back room?" Anyone who's been to Boise will know about the back room. You know what I mean? Like, so what would happen is you'd be on it. It'd be like, obviously you go in the gym, you'd pay your subs or whatever, and then you'll go. He'll split it, right, you lot in here on the pads with me, you lot in there in the circuit or whatever, and then when there was no, you'd do your circuit and everyone be waiting round to go on the pads, but the gym's rammed.
it was up. Yeah, it was.
So you've got John doing pads for loads of kids, so you're waiting for ages. You're lucky to get on the pads sometimes, especially if you're new starting off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got all the lads like, go on, you know what I mean, go away. I used to end up running on the bags and whacking the bags and end up getting dropped with a body shot because you know what I mean, by one of the big lads because I'm just trying to get in the way. But anyway, this back room was just a small little room, probably about this, you know what I mean? And it was like a doghouse. Everyone would sneak in there to spar. Do you know what I mean? You go in there and people would have the snidest gloves. You know what I mean? Patches missing and all
Tape
that.
over the gloves and that.
It would be on. Do you know what I mean? That'll be it. Someone would be keeping lookout in case anyone's coming. Do you know what I mean? And you'd stand there and you just stand and bang with whoever. Do you know what I mean? And my mate, he was what do you call it? He was a bit older, but he had a dig on him. And I remember he says he was messing this time, but I think he tried to kill me. Like, but I remember he hit me and my brain was shaking for about 4 days after. So yeah, it was funny, but yeah, if anyone knows what I'm on about, it was that back room. Everyone used to go sneak to spar because everyone just wanted to turn up to fight.
To have a bit of a fight and that, like.
Yeah, funny, but yeah, the Boise days, I lived there. I used to always just, my mind wasn't in school, it was at boxing. You know what I mean? So every time. I tell you what, I used to get the mick taken out of me because I used to run home from school. I'm like, why do you run everywhere? Because I used to just ping, you know, bomb off.
Go and get your boxing stuff.
Yeah, go and get your boxing stuff, and I'd be always out in the gym early. And so I'd always, like say, get in the gym every single night. I'd always be in there. And John done a lot for me there.
Yeah.
Like there was a stage where we were struggling at one point, and John used to always say, right, anyone paid your subs? And a few times I hadn't, and I was a bit embarrassed because I didn't want to put the pressure on at home, and you know things were just a bit difficult, and so he'd be asking me, and I'd be like, there was a massive bag with just covered in duct tape. You know what I mean? I'd be like stood behind the bag. I can see your legs. And I'm like, oh, and then everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, I forgot it.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to 20 minutes. You forgot it for 5 days straight. You know what I mean? Like, oh no. So in the end, they ended up pulling John up, and I was like, listen, just got a few things going on at home and that, and then he just says, anything I can do. He said, tell you what, son. If you clean the gym for me, we'll call it quits.
That's the type of man John Lally was.
Yeah,
John Lally is, should I say, sorry.
Yeah.
And, but he made you earn it, you know what I mean? You go and clean the gym, and what he's teaching you, things in life like that, you know what I mean, and stuff.
What do you call it? It was that was big for me, and but it showed as well. Like I was determined to just keep going to the gym. You know what I mean? I could have easily. There's been loads of times where I could have just
jacked it and just...
Yeah, use it as an excuse, you know what I mean? You used excuses to not go to the gym, but the gym was my escape.
Yeah.
And it was, it was good. And forever I feel like I'll be indebted to John.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we used to go on, because I basically lived in the gym. There'd be shows, like whoever's fighting, someone would be fighting, but can I jump in? You know, when can I come in? But yeah, come on, Jack. So I'd always be...
You were in and around all the time, boxing, you were there.
The story, especially, so Rab Shearer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Robbie and Tom's
so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
passed away now. God bless him. He was a great fella as well. And also, if anyone hadn't been hit by his walking stick, remember he's got, "You all right, Rob? How you doing?" Like, yeah, and his Scottish accent, you know, and smack on the back of your legs, and like, oh, you know what I mean?
I used to play football with Dave Robert, and I remember Rob, like, do you know what I mean? But I know he'd done a lot with the boxing and all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, what's the name of the, you know, for the boxing, you know?
Yeah, so I used to...
Now then, everyone, sorry for interrupting this episode. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, That Prize Guy. That Prize Guy have given away over 200 million in prizes and turned everyday people into millionaires. And right now, they've got some huge offers available.
A Range Rover Sport or £25,000 cash, a BMW M3 Competition or £50,000 cash, £125,000 for 11 pence, a Ferrari 296 GTS or £150,000 cash, a life-changing £500,000.
And if you haven't checked them out, now is the time. Head over and see what's for grabs. You could be next. Right, let's get back to the episode.
I used to go for Merseyside and Cheshire, and what you did have like squad training, and I could never get there. I couldn't, you know, at the time, and Rab would pick me up,
yeah,
and take me and that. So like again, things like that you'll never forget. You know what I mean?
Do you know what, Jack? And it's so similar because we didn't have a car. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't have a car, and I remember my teacher, Mr. Brown, took me to Charles to Port Vale, and I was exactly what you're saying. It's mad because I don't think I've told you this, like, but even though we speak, I don't think I've told you. And I remember going to Port Vale for these trials, and I didn't have like the shinnies, and all these lads were all like, all the parents were there, and I felt him. And my deputy head teacher was taking me all the way to like, you know, Stafford way, well, Port Vale.
Was that the fella you?
Yeah, it's where it took him the Leeds game.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, you feel in what's saying to them, because you don't forget them type of things, Jack.
No. Like again, and it's just stuff that sticks with you, isn't it? And like I remember going back to my first ever fight. This was my first ever fight, and
Was you nervous?
oh yeah, shaking. You know what I mean? So what happened was, with the thing with Rab and John, it wasn't like, oh, on the Monday, oh, you're fighting next week. You know, you'd be standing on the scales you go in, so he knows what weight you are. I remember it was, I don't know if it was like the day before or whatever. They've never fought before. He went, all right, Jack, you're fighting tomorrow. I was like, fuck it, that was the worst Scottish accent ever. But yeah, it's always talking about, it's, you know, I mean, there's no urgency, or there was no like, it was just like, oh, you're fighting tomorrow. I was like, all right, okay. Inside, I'm like, my heart's going. I'm going, you wanted that? You've got a million questions going on in your head, aren't you? But because of the way my brothers were with me, I was just like trying to be hardened. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, son, yeah, I'll fight anytime. You know what I mean? Deep down, and my heart's going at 100 miles an hour. So then, anyway, he said, it's away in Stoke. So I was like, right, okay, so go home. I don't know why I didn't know what to do. So I go home after training, and we used to live on like a hill like that. So right, I'm gonna go and do hill sprints. I'm fighting tomorrow. I've just trained. You know?
But this is in your
So
head.
I'm thinking, right, I need to be better than this fella. You know what I mean? Do fit and all that. So I'm running up and down doing hill sprints round and round. And then I wake up the next day, and I remember I was like, I'd been hit by a bus. You know what I mean? I was stiff, and I was thinking, geez. But we ended up going away to Stoke. Just I don't know if John had to miss this, because John was away with one of the with someone else. So I think it was Andy, and Rab took me, and went over to an away show. So I didn't know. I'd never been to like any like a mad show. I was quite fresh to it, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've gone away to Stoke, and at the time I was 39 kilos, so probably lighter than a gas canister. You know what I mean? So I was tiny, and I'm thinking everyone's going to be going in like it's the gym. I was like, hey mate, you okay? You know what I mean? Proper soft to it, and I'm on the way to the ring, and then and I'm walking in, and there's grown adults going boo and all that to me, and I'm thinking,
What's all this
I
like?
get in the ring and then I'm thinking everyone's going to be like, yes, you know, cheering me on, say my name, and it's the biggest load of boos I've ever had. I remember thinking the whole place, boo,
How old was you, Jack?
boo. It was when you first could get your licence, 10, 11.
So for that, you know, you're thinking, oh, what's this all about? You know what I mean? And then
It was man, but it was good. But then that's what give you the
to spare, you know.
oh yeah, brilliant. And I boxed out my skin.
And did you beat the kid?
Yeah, on his home show in Stoke, and it was brilliant. But again, after that though, I was walking around like this, you know what I mean? And then my second fight got levered because you're learning, aren't you? You get too cocky.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You think that's what it's going to be like all the time, and you come up against someone who's got a...
The good thing is with boxing and all that, you learn life lessons quick. It comes at you fast. You know what I mean? Especially with all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quality away show. And there was someone else I wanted to tell you as well, but it's gone out my head now.
About the gym when
Yeah, loads of stories.
Loads of funny,
yeah.
Well, probably stories as well that you probably know what's in which we.
Yeah, because I tell you what, right? I don't know if John, well, he'll appreciate it, but funny, he was a lad, George Berry. He was in the national championships. He was boxing, funny enough, against the army, and we'll get back to the army.
We'll touch on the army, but
this was the first time I'd seen the army facility, because it was on in the army gym, and I went down, and George was fighting. It was in Aldershot, and we went down the night before, went and stayed over. So me and George goes back to the room. John and Dave go out, and they're have a few pints, yeah. So so they go out anyway. George's getting his head down early night. I go to my room, whatever, and then I come in the morning. I'm like, George looks like worse for wear. I was like, you all right, George? Yeah, and he's like, yeah, fine. So anyway, it turns out John's come back to the room after a few pints. I don't know why it's tickling me so much. He comes back to the room after a few pints, doesn't realise George's obviously, he's forgot where he is, he's gone in. George said he just let the biggest ripper off. And then goes, night, Dave. And George just like, and he said he kept them all out, chuckling to himself.
Just didn't say nothing.
No.
I bet you when this goes out, John will laugh about that. Like.
Funny. It tickles me that, because that's a story.
But you know what though? It's like stuff like that where you think to yourself, you know, to where you're at now and stuff, and it's like these memories, and you know, you're touching on boxing teaches you discipline, and you know, and all, you know, everything that comes with it. And like you say, you win your first fight, your second fight, and it sort of brings you down a little bit. You know, if you want something, you've got to work hard. You know?
You learn a lot through it all, and just teaches you so much. I advise everyone to give it a little crack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know, obviously, besides all the self-defense and all that, it's the life lessons you get taught in the gym. There's nothing like the brotherhood you have in the gym. You know,
everyone looks out for each other. Everyone supports each other, and that. Yeah,
amazing, really good. But what I was saying is, so funny enough with the army gym, it was crazy, really, because at the time there was a lad from Runcorn running the army team.
Yeah.
Called Danny Kelly. He was in the army, and fast forward, I think it was like 10 years or whatever, I ended up boxing for the army.
Well, that brings me on, because that's you like when questions and that, you know, what was that army life like? You know what I mean? You know, when you joined the army. How old was you when you joined the army?
So I joined a bit later, because so what happened was, so again with boxing and all that, I ended up losing my brother, and that turned the whole world on its head for me. Yeah. I just I went through a stage of just basically hating the world. Felt like the world had owes me something. You know what I mean? It's like it was sudden, unexpected, and you know, I was I was quite close. Like, I'm not saying it like I was close to anyone else. I mean, like we all, it's your brothers and sisters. You're
Yeah,
all
of
close.
course.
But what I mean, like, when you're close and you're one of your siblings goes, you just don't. It's unbelievable.
You don't know how to,
No.
Jack. You don't know how to deal with something like that. You know what I mean?
I used to share a room, and I've got some funny stories, and we used to share a room with him. I used to copy him. I remember we used to go and meet his girlfriend. We used to have to walk down the canal, and I've actually got a tattoo of us fishing on the canal because he loved fishing. But just to put things into perspective, I used to copy him all the time and think, you know what I mean? I used to think he was the coolest lad ever. You know what I mean? So I remember walking down the canal, and we're walking to meet him, and I see him walking. I'm watching at every step what he's doing, and next minute he's putting his foot that way. I am copying, and then I'm swinging my arms, and you know what I mean. And I'm just copying him. I don't even know. You know what I mean? I've not realised, and he's clocked in. He's watching me, thinking, "What are you doing?" He smacked me around here. What are you doing, you? And I mean, I felt dead embarrassed. Like, I mean, I'm
because you're looking up to.
I'm looking. That's what I mean. So I was, you know, I looked up to him that much. I kind of wanted to be him. You know what I mean? So. With when that had happened, it was just I kind of felt lost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just spiraled then, and then I kind of lost myself. So I was, like I said, I feel like the world owed me something.
And this is all while you were in the army as well.
No, this is before. This is before the army. So this is like I lost myself. I was just. Felt like I said, felt like the world had owed me something, and it was tough. Weren't happy, you know, fighting all the time, lost touch with boxing.
You're grieving in a way which is like, you know, it's coming out another way, Jack, and that's a thing. You shouldn't be too hard on yourself, because we all grieve in different ways, and obviously your way, like you're saying, you'd lost yourself and whatever, and that's what a lot of people do.
Well, that's it. And what it is, and what I was trying to get like out of it, like what I would tell people if possible is when stuff like that, like I stopped doing what I loved, and you just lose yourself, and like I lost touch with boxing. It was like you go in self-sabotage mode. Do you know what I mean? And you just numb. Mm-hmm. So I was just getting into trouble all the time. Weren't doing stuff, you know, I was supposed to, and you know, losing relationships with family and friends, and you know, basically being an ass. You know what I mean? And it was tough, and then you start to then not like the path you're going down then, and then it just got to a point where I thought, enough's enough. What am I gonna do here? Am I gonna try and make up for the life that he's now, you know, because he died young at 18, am I going to make up for his life too? You know, why don't we just knuckle down now and go for it, and try and do, you know, live life to the fullest, and live life to a point where I'm making memories for him.
Making him proud, like you're saying.
What I'm trying to say is I think I'm living for two people at the minute. So this is why I like the boxing, give it a go. So I'll get to that in a sec, but I just got fed up, and I thought, right, now it's time to make a change. I'm going to go in the army, turn my life around, and see what we can make of it.
And you know, when you made that decision, Jack, was it a hard decision? You know, your other brothers and your sister and that, and was it, you know, or did you need to make that?
I needed to.
Yeah.
It's typical of people to go, oh, I'll probably end up in trouble, in jail, and then end up here, then up there. I don't know where I would be. It wouldn't have been in a good place.
But making that decision, Jack, has shaped your life to where it's at, and that's what you had to do. You had to make a decision, because, like you say, like a lot of people, like a lot of us do, you know, you make decisions, and we all make silly decisions.
That's it. And what it is as well is, you think, right, when you're like 18, you feel like if you're not made, you don't know what you're doing, and this is important. I'd love kids to know this. Like, they should stress it in school. You almost feel when you're coming out of school, if you don't know what to do, you failed. But you've not
got your whole life ahead of
you. I think when you're 18, you're still a kid.
You're still learning, aren't you?
Yeah, you're still learning, yeah. So you just want to don't give up on yourself. You know what I mean? Because I thought at the time, I was like, because of when my brother had passed away and that, and then I'd stopped boxing, I thought, I'll never box again. I've passed it now. I can't believe it, and I lost valuable years where if I would have just went, no, I'm going to carry on, you know what I mean? Write your own journey.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't, you didn't quite, because no one else, because the typical path was, at this age you do this, at that age you do that. Do you get what I mean? And you kind
Yeah.
of fall into the trap then, and then you lose a bit of
You
self-belief.
get sucked in, don't you, and that, but then you
Yeah.
made that decision
And
to go in the army, don't you know
well,
what I mean?
that's it. And then I just thought, right, it is what it is. I need to try this. Join the army. Didn't want to do it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't. The reason why I thought the army is because, again, it's to keep me disciplined and that. And it was Arsty always wanted to join in the army, and he didn't. He couldn't. So I thought, right, that'll be a first step of living our life as such. You know what I mean? So I ended up joining the army. Didn't train for it. Honestly,
What was the training like for you, Jack?
Jesus. Oh my God, right. I didn't, and this is it. I didn't train for it. Just being a menace. Turned up to the army. They come in the room, give you the skinhead. I was like, oh, brilliant. You know what I mean? I thought,
I couldn't imagine you with a skinhead
oh
now.
my God. I remember looking at myself when I was looking in the mirror thinking, you know what I mean? I was looking at myself going, my ears are massive. You know what I mean? and I just remember it takes something out of you. It like humbles you, brings you back down to, because before this, you're knocking about your mates thinking you're a bit of a boy, you're thinking you're something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just get there and you get knocked down a peg. You know what I mean? You just get stripped right back. And with basic training and all that, they basically just knock you down and basically rebuild you. So when I went down there, they obviously know, what it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The training process. And I'm not going to lie, the first few weeks was just hell for me.
Was you thinking, what am I doing here? Was you thinking, like, what's going on?
Yeah, because I won't get too much into it, but before leaving, there was a bit of drama going on where I didn't get any of my stuff. You know what I mean? It was like my mum didn't want me to go in or whatever, so all my stuff went missing. I don't know, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was supposed to be on the train the next day, and you're supposed to turn up with like this pack of little stuff, all the stuff what they say.
A list.
I've literally turned up, bearing in mind the night before all madness happened, where I've ended up with nothing. I'm like, oh no, I need to change my
And you
life.
need to get the train and all that.
I had to bump the train down. I had
train,
no my cards or nothing. I thought I need to get to there. I knew what time, I knew where to go. I thought I need to get there. So I just turned up, and it looked like, from an outsider looking, like from them, they must have thought, he can't be asked him. He's turned up. He's not.
When you had it all prepped and you had it all
really,
ready to, yeah.
When really, although I said I didn't train for it, it was kind of like a bit. What I thought was like, right, when I get in the army, they'll teach me this, they'll teach me that. Not knowing that I had to be hot, like super fit as well. You know what I mean? But so I turn up, and then it just made it a lot harder for me then, because I turned up, looked like you weren't bothered, unfit. So it was just, the first 6 weeks or so was just mayhem. And then I proved myself. They seen the qualities in me then. Biting down and not giving up and just
Getting stuck in there.
doing it. They would try and break me all the time. You know what I mean? And I remember having like inspections and all that. And I know, even to this day, we used to have a whole room inspections, right? And everyone used to, whatever anyone was good at, right? That's your job. You do all the ironing the shirts. You're boss at that. You're good at folding the socks. You do everyone's socks. You're good at polishing the boots. You do the boots. You know what I mean?
So it was a team.
So it was a team effort. So everyone would go around each other's living space and sort it. And this lad, Ben, he had done some training previous to it, and so he was all over it. So it was funny because everyone would be like, telling us whatever. No one would. It was funny. No, everyone's like getting told off, and I know I used to say you'd end up switching off, and you'd be, it's all right, Ben will know it. He'll tell us in a bit. So then
you knew you were getting it. Yeah, you knew.
But then in the end, it was funny because everyone goes up to Ben and he's like, lads, come on, you need to screw the nut here. You know what I mean? So
Just
so that's it, yeah. So but anyway, so we were in this inspection and all bouncing around. It just, the memories are flying
No,
by.
but it's good though. You know what I mean? You've got all them.
So this wasn't my job, and I'm not having sloppy shoulders and they're saying, oh, it wasn't me. I was good at ironing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll give you that. I'm not doing you nine. No,
I was going to say.
So, there was a lad who'd do all the folding perfect because they'd measure it and all that. It was all thingy. And I know we all done it, all went round, checked it all out, you know what I mean? And one of the, it was an officer this, so she was like one of the big
Sergeants,
dogs,
yeah.
like, and they went, Power, what's this? And I was like, thinking, hang on a minute, and looking like, and like face the front, so you just asked me to look, you know? So you struggle to like at first, because you're used to the real world, but then you're trying to get taught out of being, you know, in the military and that, and then I know full well she had pulled it out, because when I looked at the end, it was so obvious. I thought you were having us on. So everyone ended up getting thrashed. But it was on me then, so I felt like heavy. I was like, so, but then I'm thinking in my head, we're getting thrashed up and down this hill. There was hills in Pembrokeshire, I think they're called Three Sisters, and they're like that. And it was literally, they're like, right up the top, last one goes again. When you're there, last one goes again, you're like, you know, I was racing each other up to the top.
I'm not being the last one.
Like, right, everyone too slow, go again. You're just kidding you, aren't they? And then
pushing your limits, aren't they?
That's it. And we had an instructor. He was Nepalese, and do you know where Mount Everest is? So it was like around that region, and where they all, walk up and down the mountain. So they're all super fit soldiers, and he was one of the instructors. And I remember sprinting up, and I thought, I'm doing well here. I'm smashing this. And he was running, not even breaking a sweat. And he goes, your name Power, right? I was like, yeah. And he went, you mean powerless? And then just runs off. I mean, I'm there like hanging out my ass like.
But you know, like being in the army and that, Jack, how did it shape your mindset and stuff like that?
The thing is with the army, I feel like I always had it in me. It was just triggering that belief, or like I had something to work towards then.
Yeah.
I had like a goal, and I always used my brother as like fuel, and I'll show you. Do you know what I mean?
That was the fuel, and that was the fire in your belly, was it?
I'll show you, yeah. And when anything ever got tough, I'd go to another level and think, you know, and there's times where you feel like quitting, and just out of pure stubbornness, you know what I mean? They'd be like,
nah, I'm not quitting,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, the amount of times I'd get thrashed because they'd go, if you had enough, no. You know what I mean? Deep down I did. You know what I mean?
But you weren't showing that,
no,
because they just do it even more, like.
That's it, yeah. And you learn so much in the army, and like I think that national service should happen 2 years.
Yeah, really?
Should I used to think that until recently.
Yeah. Funny enough, we were talking about national service today. Yeah. And like,
it's just more. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
it's just more like the laugh you have with the lads, and you know, just it.
It brings people together.
The confidence that you bring, and you end up getting in. I remember the first time, you have all these stories before you go in the army. I got a shower with all the lads. You know what I mean? Or you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and it's like, do you know what I mean? My head's just been shaved, I've got a skin, I've got hairs down my neck itching me, you know what I mean? And then you get lashed into a shower with like 20 lads you don't know, all naked, you know what I mean? You're like, you know, it's like...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're like, wow, you know what I mean? But
I think that just goes out the window, because obviously it's like, you know what I mean? But because when you think about it, you probably have anxiety thinking, like you said, you've had your hair shaved. You're not
used to it.
No, you're not.
You're used to like when you're at home and all that. Everyone's always looking fresh, and you know you're trying to, you know, like I say, you know, people are. Well, back then when you're younger, you're trying to be the boy, aren't you?
Yeah,
you know
you're trying to.
But when it's my mindset and that, it was like always trying to prove a point. I always wanted to try and make something of myself because of all the stuff that had happened in the past. I thought, right, I need to do something here, knuckle down, and. One particular story that stands out to me that I was buzzing with was there's this. It was a part of a testing, so it was like CSCS pellets. You get smoked.
Yeah.
You go into a chamber, and they've lashed loads.
Goes off and all.
Goes off, and what you're supposed to do is you go in, and it's to do a test to show you can clean your respirator. You know, in case a chemical warfare happens or whatever, and then you go in and you say, I am 30283609. That was my number and Power, and then you'd say like a little spiel. But as soon as that,
That stuff.
so before everyone, there's a little glass window and you see everyone going in, and then it's hilarious, you know. I'm still laughing, right? Because it's the funniest.
It sounds scary, to be honest, but you're laughing your cake off.
You go in and you walk looking through the window, and one of the lads, they go, before they open the mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone's like looking at each other thinking, you know what I mean? You've never done it before, and I knew for a fact that all the instructors are looking at me laughing, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, I'm getting it, you know what I mean? I'm getting this here. And then I go in, and it's funny because I was with 3 of my mates, so I knew for a fact, because we used to have a little bit of a laugh.
You were the jokers, basically.
Yeah. And I thought, we're in for this here. So they asked me so he's like, you go first, second, third, and you stand in the order. So then the lads go in, and that, bang, Jonesy gone straight away, mask off. I don't think he even got his mask off. He went, he's straight over, and then you're like laughing inside. I'm laughing at him thinking, and next minute another lad, bang, gone, Hudge gone, and you're thinking,
it's me now.
You've been telling me for weeks I'm having this. You know what I mean? I'm not folding.
That's in your head.
I'm not folding.
Yeah.
So I take the mask off, and the next one it just hits you in the face, and I just freeze and thinking, I'm stood up. I'm here. So then I say it. You know what I mean? I say it, and I'm saying it, and
your eyes watering and all that.
I do. I mean, your eyes are stinging and all that, and I'm like, so then you can see them all, like, and then let's go again, and they're trying to make me to fold. So in the end, like, I've been here, my mask off, and I start doing press ups, and then and got up there, got out, stood up, got out, went outside. As soon as I got outside, the fresh air hit me. Poof, then it killed. You know what I mean? Start itchy and all that. Yeah. It proper killed the eyes then, and for me. But everyone's like, Blair, man, you didn't fall. And I was
but
like,
what did that feel like, though, Jack?
Oh, it felt like a little win. You know what I mean? I was made up then. But then, fast forward, however many weeks, there's a thing at the end of your army training, and it's called Skits Night. So basically, what happens is no holds bars, let out any secrets, any stories. So the corporals, the bosses, basically, they'll tell, you know, us stuff that they shouldn't have done, or maybe done a bit harder, and then we could say what we done. So but halfway through, we got wind that you could do that. So everyone's like, bingo, we're going to get these. Do you know what I mean? We're going to get these good. So I don't know if I should say on here what I was saying. Case, you know,
you don't have to say no one's
We ended up sneaking into the staff room. You know what I mean? All the boys. You know what I mean? The next minute, I don't know if anyone's nutsack didn't go on anything. You know what I mean? Everything. Everything got, you know what I mean? Everyone's sack just got it everywhere. So, you know what I mean? We're all laughing our head off, and the next one we're getting one of the lads got photos on all the gear and all that, like freaking oh man, the cups were getting it. You know what I mean? Everything, it just got, and we were all getting pictures on our phones and all that, and anyway, we were made up. We're like, yeah, we'll show them on the night. Not thinking too much of it, just getting giddy, because bearing in mind, you don't go home, you're not allowed your phone, you've no TV. So you're bored. So any little bit.
It's it's like what you like normal life, is it?
Yeah. So we all got a bit, carried away and all that. It doesn't seem much to anyone probably, but
Jack, that's me. Like, that's fucking hilarious. I'm going to be honest. People putting the bollocks all over everywhere.
Anyway,
you know what I mean? It's like.
So I think it's like 12 weeks, but we think that was like week 8 or whatever. But anyway, we're thinking, we'll tell him 4 weeks after. We're all stood in the line in the morning for the register, and you just see one of I can't help it. It's hilarious. You know, you just see we're all braced up, fixing up. You see and he was the moodiest fella ever. Dead, just a nasty fella. Do you know what I mean? Like, and comes out with his mug. And he walks round, and he's like, what are you bellends up to, you know, giving us all down the stick and all that. And I'm
you trying to keep a straight face?
I can't, one noise, I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Or you look at someone in there,
My mate Jonesy is about 5 foot. He's my best mate in the army, and I just hear him go and that was it. Just went,
did he have to speak of his cup?
Yeah, as soon as it touches his lips, we all, the whole troop just burst out laughing. And it was hilarious, man. And what do you call it? That was it. You see the face drop and all that.
What the fuck's going on?
That was it. That was it then. You know what I mean? It all come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't go into too much detail. Luckily, you're thinking, oh no, the lads are getting put in the room. What had happened? And just, I don't know if I got blamed or whatever that I was in there and just messing about. We moved it and dirtied the cup or something, and that was it then. But it's the funniest that you're waiting because, you know what I mean? They beast you all the time.
Yeah, so it was just getting your own back in a way, really, innit? But unfortunately, he had the ball sack on his cup, so it's one of them, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, Jack, I'm just going to touch on this before we move on to, you know, turning pro and all that and stuff. But
Hiya everyone, sorry to interrupt this episode, but here's a quick one from me. If you're enjoying the podcast and you enjoy what we're doing, you can now buy us a coffee. It's a simple way to keep those stories coming. No subscription, just that one-off bit of support. The link's in the description. Now back to the episode.
Boxing for the army.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, and it was boxing for the army. It was good. So it was mad how it came about, to be fair, because even at the start of my army career, I weren't, like, I'd had the break of boxing when I was going in and that, and then still finding my feet within the army. And it wasn't until I got to me first regiment, and then they had no boxing team, and I started getting a bit of itchy knuckles then, and I was like, oh, could I have a go? I think I started playing footy actually. For the army, for my regiment and all that, and I just thought this ain't. I miss boxing, so I ended up starting up the boxing team.
You started
it up at this unit. We was in this dodgy hangar. It was just dust, and there was one ring that looked like it had never been used since
dust,
the 60s.
covered in dust and all that. Yeah.
So I ended up cleaning it and that, because I went through a stage of I was based in Ripon. I didn't come home for months and months. I was just locked in, just wanted to sort my life out. Stayed in there, and I thought, right, on a weekend and I'll go and sort the gym out. So in the end, we ended up getting loads of lads in, and it was flowing then, boss. And I started taking the lads round. Lads hadn't really boxed before.
You got the bug back, didn't you?
So I got the bug back, taking them on the pads. We were doing a bit, and then just one thing led to another then, and then Jay Allen, he's from St Helens, and he was Army head coach at the time. You know, and I couldn't believe it, because obviously another lad from this area. In the army, everyone's from all over the place, and I was down at a training regiment doing something, and I ended up getting his number, and then I reached out, didn't hear anything, and then one day I just got a call saying, "Hey up, Jack, do you want to come for a trial?" Because they were looking for, I think at the time as well, I was about 90 something kilo. You know what I mean? So I was big compared, like now I box at 72.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So went down for a trial, and he was like, right, if you don't mind, we'll do a bit of sparring and all that. I was like, yeah, sounds. She was like, who you sparring? I sort of pointed and looked over, and I was like, oh my God. Josh Woods, he's a big fella, massive, 100 and something kilo. So I ended up doing some sparring and that. And he was like, I like your attitude. Would you like to come on the teams? Like, definitely. Love to, because opportunities like that didn't really come around much. So, but then what you have to do, you have to ask permission from your unit then. And my unit was doing everything at the time to kind of like use it as an excuse to put me through normal works. You know, like, to not make me go. But I had like my staff sergeant at the time. He was massive into his fitness and all that, and he
did he support you? He backed you, like?
Yeah, he just said, you're going, like, yeah, no worries. And then we had a troop commander, and they both basically sorted it between them. So I went down there, and it was boss. You're training Monday to Friday, 3 times a day, living in flats with all your mates. You know what I mean? Again, it's just class. Training all the time, not wearing any army gear, just in your army box team trackie. You used to cut about, and everyone would like give you respect because you was one of the boxers. You know what I mean? So it was good. You go around everywhere, like all trips and all that is amazing.
But representing the army though, Jack.
Yeah.
That must have been, you know, you know, where you said I'd had enough, you know, you sort
Oh,
of,
yeah.
you'd lost a little bit of, fell out of love with it, didn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then to have that opportunity to box and like you say, you got the clobber on and all that, and everyone sort of like,
Yeah,
that bit of, you
it
must have felt some kind of, you know what I mean, that feeling.
It was that point where Jay was a good mentor for me.
Yeah.
He was a really good fella, and he like was in, you know, that's when I started properly believing into myself. He used to, you know, he had a way with words where he would make you feel good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And my confidence were growing and growing, and that's what, at that point, it was when my life just started getting better, because I just thought, yeah, I can do this. Forget the past now. You know what I mean? Push on.
This is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do. Yeah, and yeah. So I ended up fighting. Ended up fighting for the army. You're out quite a lot, quite often. You was always out. So going shows and all that. And then I remember get called into the office, and Jay was like, I think the first year I'd boxed for them, I had the most fights. And then Jay come in, he was like, listen, how do you think about being team captain next season? And I was like, you get on when you go into the boxing gym. I remember as a kid when I went to, remember when I said I went to go and watch Jord?
Yeah, yeah.
There's all names of like people who've captained the team and
your
and
name's
stuff
going
on
to
it.
be up there, lad. Yeah.
And like and people who'd won titles and all things like that. And so it was quite cool, you know. And I remember when I was a kid seeing that and thinking, and then now fast forward to being sat in this room and I'm thinking,
this is meant to
that-
happen. This
wow,
was meant to happen.
but I didn't ever think someone like me would be able to do that. You know what I mean? And like there's so much history. It was mad because Paul Larkin Senior, he used to be in the engineers, and that's what I was in.
Yeah.
So it was mad because I used to box with his son Paul, and was telling me about Senior was telling me about his days in the army, and like I was in the Royal Engineers and ended up boxing, and he was telling me, and I was like, all right, and that's that, and then I ended up going to watch Jord. So he kind of like opened my eyes to it all.
Yeah, yeah.
So then when I went into the careers office, and I had a kind of a vision where to go. So and it's funny enough what happened was because in the end, I ended up doing all the stuff that he had said like now. So like when I speak to him now, it's like it's mad because as a kid, we were talking about it, remember him telling me, and then now I know the same people or the same places where he'd been.
And then you were
and I'd done it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was mad. And yeah, so I ended up boxing and being the team captain. And that was a massive, pleasure. That was
an
amazing.
achievement in itself.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, you've probably fought all over the place, and and you've won all kinds of accolades, titles and stuff like that in the army.
It was good. The army boxing was some good, proper good memories.
There's something I'm going to ask you here. What's harder, army training or fight camp?
See, because I'm in one now, I'll probably...
By the time this goes out, Paul will have you'll beast you, Paul, and that in the gym and that.
But yeah, no, be careful what I've got to say there. Then,
yeah.
To be fair, yeah. No, but to be fair, it is different, but it's the same. You've got to have the same values.
It's that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, turn up on time.
Dedication.
The right kit. Yeah, you know, there's going to be times where, you've got to dig in. It's very similar, very, very similar, because you're going through... you take yourself into a dark place. Do you know what I mean? And in camp, exactly the same.
A lot of fighters and a lot of people, involved in mixed martial arts and stuff like that, and boxing and stuff. They always say the camp is the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on fight night, obviously everything that you've worked on, comes into play and stuff like that.
Yeah, you've got to put yourself through the hell, and then by the time you get to the fight.
There's times when I've spoken to you and we've met up and stuff, and you've been like, tough one today and whatever, and you're like, my arms or whatever, and you're like, but it'll all come good, and it's that what you put yourself through to put it right on the night, innit? You know what I mean?
Well, that's it. Like I think everything of sacrifice. Don't forget, I sold a house to back myself to box. Because I wanted, like I said, I was trying to live two lives. One for me and my brother. So, because I believe in myself, and times have been tough. it took me a long time to, you know, to get my own place and stuff like that. And it was like
You'd worked hard for that. Do you
that
know
was
what I
a
mean?
big achievement.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, so like again, like I never thought someone like me would ever do something like that. And then to back myself, selling the house to put, you know, for the financial, take some pressure off to, you know, be focused and give it a go. You know what I mean? So these are all sacrifices that when it does get tough, no, you've been through it. This is something you've got to do.
Yeah, you've been
got to
through
just keep
tougher things, but this is like you say.
Yeah, they're just little stepping stones that you need to go through. So when you're going through all them places, you remember why you do it and what you've been through.
Yeah. Do you know turning pro, Jack? What was the feeling like? The excitement? Was it pressure, fear, or a bit of everything?
Yeah, it was exciting for me. Again, like I've been living my life, not really like thinking I would be able to do what I'm doing. So like everything I do is a massive bonus, and as long as I keep making myself proud, and especially like my brothers and my sister and that, and you know my family. You know, if I yeah, that's it. I don't think tend to try and dwell too much on it, and just want on to the next thing and focus. And as long as I'm doing better than I was.
Yeah. You know, has there been a moment, sorry, where you thought this is what I've sacrificed everything for? You know, that first night when we all,
Yeah, that was
your hands, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Myself, we all went to Leeds. It was
Yeah.
about, how many was there? About 800 of it?
It was a racket one. It was
That
so
was
good.
mental outside Ellen Road.
But funny enough, that was 2 years, wasn't it? I think it was yesterday or the day
Do you know what I
before.
was saying this to someone the other day? I remember, I think there was about 800 of us that went, wasn't there? And we were in that marquee outside.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I'm sure it was Jack that he was like the COVID. I think he'd sold more tickets than the lad who was headlining.
Yeah, it was a good. It was.
And it was just, I just remember there's only one. It was just
Always,
dead
yeah.
loud. It was like,
Yeah.
and you thought that guy, I can't remember his name. Jack, you were hitting him with them body shots. And he just wouldn't go nowhere. He was just like a concrete block. But how did that feel for you when everyone had come to watch you, Jack? When you walk into the ring, how did that feel?
Mad, because like again, I didn't think, wow, everyone's here for me. You know what I mean? It's like, even now when people come in fights and that, I think I get like it's a big overwhelming.
You get overwhelmed, yeah.
Because I just think, how's this happening to me? Do you know what I mean? Like, I went through what I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially with my brother and all that, and all the craziness and all that. And now I'm thinking, I've went against the odds as such, knuckled down, and now all yous are coming to support me. And like, it's so, I can't explain the feeling. It's
But
the
you know
best
what,
feeling
Jack?
ever.
The support that you've got from everyone.
Yeah.
It's because, I'm not just saying this because I'm a friend and, you know, and you sat there, but because you're a genuine lad and, you know, you've got to take a lot of credit because of what you have been through. And some people would fold and, you know, and even like talking about like being in the army and I'm not giving in and I'm not going to, and you took that into the pro boxing and that shows what type of character you are. And for everyone to you say, I can't believe people, because you're a likeable guy, you know what I mean? You're a likeable fella who dedicates, and listen, you do have to dedicate, but from an early age, being in that Boise, going in that back room, hiding behind the punch bag, look what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And you've got to take, pat yourself on the back, do you know what I mean? You should be proud of yourself, mate, and I know you are, because we speak about it, and sometimes you can feel a little bit like when people give you, you know, a nice, you know, past comments, and it's nice, but sometimes you've got to go, you know what?
Well, I do.
You deserve
do you
to
know
be,
what?
yeah.
Every day I go in the gym, I go in there and I think, how am I doing this now? You know what I mean? I'm thinking, like, I used to watch the Contender series, and Paul, my coach, was on it, and I remember it.
Peter Manfredo and all that on it,
I was a kid, and I used to sit there, and that was the first proper time when I seen Paul on it, and I used to think, I'm gonna knuckle down. It's in 2007, and watch me get that wrong now. It was, but I remember it the clear as day, and I used to think, like, sit there and think, oh, and it proper gave me the bug, and it's just crazy now.
That he's your trainer, Paul Smith Jr. Yeah.
Like he like going in the gym and he's training me, and then I'm training alongside Callum, who used to watch, and now I'm gonna be fighting on his bill, and you know, you've got his brothers Stephen in there,
Swifty, and you've got Beefy about, and and there's
everyone,
loads of boxers in that gym as well.
Loads of lads in the gym. That's what I mean. Our gym is boss. John Gillies, legend.
Yeah, John Gillies, yeah.
As us all in there, and it's just boss. The gym's booming. Unreal. But I'm in awe. Sorry, I come in, I'm like.
But that's the thing, though, Jack. To where, you know, when you turn pro and stuff, and when you're in and around the gym, and it's like you say, it's can be daunting, or you can get, but no one judges, no one. Do you know what I mean? You've gone in there, people who you've looked up to or you've watched and stuff, but standing and they watching. They might give you some pointers, some advice.
That's it. You're always learning constantly, and that's it. Like, you've got to have the right attitude, you know what I mean? And you go in the gym, everyone has a laugh, and like I said, I'm just still, I pinch myself every day, just even to be just boxing. And and one thing that I want to make clear is it would genuinely be impossible without people coming to support me. Like that, to put things into perspective, if people didn't come and support me, and I could perform on these shows or get put on these shows, it's all about, people coming. And if that wasn't possible, I wouldn't be able to do all this. Do you know what I mean? So that's how much I appreciate people spending the money, through hard times, and to come and see me. So it means the world to me. It does.
But really, touching on that, so like April 18th, at the
Dream.
At the Echo Arena, well, it's the M&S, I call it the Marks and Sparks Arena.
Yeah.
I said this to Ben before, but you know what? You're on a massive fight card. Callum's fighting David Murrell, isn't he?
Yeah, yes.
You've got Molly on there, you've got Steve Clark, Joe McGrail, Peter McGrail. Jack, you deserve to be on that card, mate. This is what you've always dreamed of, and to be added to a card like that with them top-class fighters, and you deserve to be there, and the support and all that you get is because... Jack, you're a good fighter, and like you say, you've got like the likes of Matchroom and stuff whose show it is. You deserve to be on that card, you know what I mean?
No, I appreciate it, but again, it won't be possible without the people who are buying the tickets coming along. Do you know what I mean? Because that's, at the end of the day, it's an entertainment business, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for people, I've got a goal, what I dream, what I'd love to do, but it won't be possible if you don't get the support. So I'd like to one day have a professional boxing fight in Runcorn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine outdoor and the limits are all up for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only way for me to do that is to everyone to come along.
And support,
support. Because
but on this biggest stage now, Jack, like they say, the Echo Arena, what we call it, or whatever, the M&S Arena, but for tickets and stuff like that, because the tickets, everyone can get tickets from yourself, on your socials and stuff like that. It's a massive card. It's coming to support you. Without all that dream that you'd love to do one day is to fight back in Runcorn. But you need, for now, the support needs to be massive.
It won't be possible. They give you an X amount of tickets and they say, listen, you need to get rid of them. If I don't get rid of them, then why would anyone invest in a show in Runcorn for me? So this is why, it's like, you can't stress how important it is, you know what I mean? But it'll be amazing. It's just something that would be, imagine, it'll be
but you know what, Jack, that's what's just took me to my next question. Everyone sees the glamour of, being a pro, but behind the scenes, nobody understands financial pressure, selling tickets, expectations, training camps. What you're talking about there is basically people who just see you as a pro boxer. They don't understand what
they just think it's like glitz and glam and all that, but they don't realise you've got to do everything. You know what I mean? You pay your coaches, you pay anything, outgoings, the
overheads and all that.
The recovery, transport for, say, you go and sparring, you're doing everything's on you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're your boss. That's your best interest to do what you need to do to get on. It's not like you know, unless you're lucky enough to have the sponsors who can give you the stuff and that, and you know, and do
And that
things
support, yeah.
and that support, then that takes the pressure off you. But it's not just because you sign a professional deal that they go, oh right, okay, here's the starter pack on your way. You know what I mean? You rely on people coming to watch you and stuff like that. So it is all. It is stressful and that, but that's why I say like I appreciate it, and it's worth every
Yeah.
it's worth it all.
But the thing that you've always done since you turned pro is like you always top your tickets off. You look like everybody buys a ticket, you always go and, you know what I mean?
Because
it's like
I like to go and, you know,
thank people for buying tickets.
like
yeah.
it's I'm not just saying it like, oh, you know, thanks for coming. I honestly,
No, I know you do.
If I didn't get paranoid after 2 coffees and get a bit like shaky and that, I'd have a coffee with everyone. You know what I mean? But
so if there's any people who want to sponsor who's a coffee, what's it about?
Yeah,
Jack Powers, you man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, like it's just not. It's it do generally, like, I appreciate it, like, so.
Jack, I know
much,
you do. You know what I mean? But it's when you're like in camp and whatever, and I always say to you, Jack, you're like, yeah, got loads of tickets to drop off, and I'm like, he's like the Duracell battery, do you know what I mean? You know, the rabbits, just doesn't stop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the type of person you are, though. And like you say, I'm not saying what boxers do, you know what I mean? But, you know, thanks for, you generally go to the people's houses, knocking on the door and delivering them, thanks very much, drinking all the coffee on them and that. But you know what, Jack, that's what people don't understand. They just think it's all, you know, and you know, you're getting there. And Jack, that opportunity that's come on this card, I think hopefully it's going to springboard you to, you know, bigger things. Like you're saying, you'd love to come back to Runcorn because it's your own town and do that. But I think you're going to fight on big shows and stuff like that.
So I've got a good team around me, you know, my manager Tom as well and Paul, and you know, I trust in them. So all I need to do is turn up to the gym, put everything I've got into it, and trust the process. And again, just wait for hopefully people back me, and then and we can see where it goes, you know, and go for it.
That was one of my questions I was going to ask you. How much of a big part Tom Stalker played in your career so far?
Good, he's my manager, so basically, you know, everything goes through him.
Yeah.
So him and Paul have got a good relationship. They sort between themselves, and
they've been around the boxing game. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but yeah,
you know, they know the stuff and that, don't they?
Yeah.
So now I just want to ask you, what's it like being around the Smiths in the gym? Because when I see them on their podcast and that, they just rip each other and whatever.
It's
you know,
funny.
it's just like
it's funny. Well, it's funny because obviously after the sessions and that, we go down to Paul's cafe.
Yeah.
And what best cafe about, by the way, baby? Yeah, that's what I crave all the time.
You've got no coffee left because of Jack. Do you know what I mean?
Black coffee. You know? But yeah, no, nice. But like they're just constantly on the go.
There's some more characters in the gym, like Steve Clark and all that. And
all the boys in the gym are
Sean and that.
Yeah, Sean.
I know Sean because he's a blue, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you see him at the match and all that.
Yeah, he's good,
honestly, the gym's boss. Like, class.
It's bouncing.
You go in the gym sometimes and you're in there and you come out and you go outside to reality and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? You wouldn't stay in the gym all
You wouldn't
the
think
time.
it's a gym the way, you know.
It's good. It's, like I say, I enjoy it. I'm grateful to have the people around me and to be doing what I'm doing. Like, I feel I'm grateful, feel lucky, you know what I mean? Because not a lot of people get to do what they want to do, you know what I mean? So,
but you've worked hard.
Well, obviously the sacrifices are there too, but it doesn't mean you should take it for granted. I generally...
Yeah. So your fight on the 18th of April, how do people get tickets for it?
Just message me all on my socials, and we'll get it. We'll tell me what tickets you want, the prices, all the details are on my social media. By the way.
Yeah.
So just link me through that, and then I'll come drop you off. But make sure you got decaf
in. Just a couple of more questions, Jack. You know, Jack, what's been the good, the bad, and the ugly so far being a pro boxer?
There's ups and downs of everything, and you know, you have boss sessions, you have good sparring, you have bad sparring, you know what I mean?
Injuries and
I
stuff, yeah.
do you know what? The journey, again, it's like I say, I just pinch myself. I'm great.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm really grateful to be in the position I'm in to go and train and do that. Do you know what I mean? Because for one, the main you should never take for granted is your health. You know what I mean? So I'm healthy, and also I get to do what I'm doing. So I'll forever be grateful. And I know, you know, some of my family are probably like, "You're moaning last week," you know what I mean? But you vent sometimes. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, I am grateful.
Yeah, but you know, another thing I'm going to touch on, Jack, and it's probably going off a little bit, going off topic, is like, you know, anyone out there who's, you know, struggling, because we all go through, you know, ups and downs in life, and you've been at the end of the phone for me.
Yeah,
You know, and I'm vice versa, and like you've got good friends around you and stuff like that, you know, and sometimes it's sort of pinch yourself to think, you know what, you can have all these people around you and stuff like that, you know, but when we've spoken on certain things and stuff like that, because there've been times that, you know, people think you're happy, all the time, and all you put that mask on, and you know, I've certainly been, you've been at the end of the phone for me, and you know, vice versa and stuff like that. And if there's any people out there who especially look up to you, you know, you're the lad who gets in the ring, you're the one who can have a bang and have a fight and all that. But you certainly go through it as well, don't you? You know what I mean?
Do you know what I've learned is, no matter what you're doing, you know what I mean, I've met some great people, you know what I mean, some amazing people who, you know, people idolise and all that. At the end of the day, if you strip everyone's job or anything what they do aside, they're just they're just normal
still a human
people,
being,
and everyone's
aren't
got the same problems. Do you know what I mean? You just don't ever. One thing as well, what like when my dark days and when I was, you know, I was always trying to compare myself, thinking, you know, and you're feeling bad by comparing yourself. But there's one thing that you got to remember is everyone's journey, you know, it is different. Your journey is different, and you know, someone could go through something amazing now, and you could be going through the worst, but your time will come, like it will. So never compare anyone's journey, and just stick to whatever makes you happy. Doesn't matter about what you've got, or you know, focus on yourself. Happiness is the most important thing, isn't it?
No, it is, mate.
Health and happiness.
And there's always a message I always say, like, you know, with strong walls shake but never collapse.
That's it. No matter what you go through, life is like that, isn't it? You just got to ride the wave, and you'll go through something amazing, and then go through something. It's just about trying to remember it and take it for each time. Try and learn something from it, and use it for the next time.
No, that's it. But Jack, listen, you know, that was, you know, it was a good, bad and ugly episode, but it was just great to have you on because you're a friend and open up about something. We certainly laughed, you know what I mean? But we certainly, you know, spoke about certain things in life, and, you know, it was great to get you on, and it's just proud to know you and you're a friend. And like you say, you know, when you see you boxing on the telly, or you're just a normal, you're not up your own backside, you're a genuine lad, you generally, and it's an honour and a pleasure to, you know, to call you a friend. And, you know, I just want to say, Jack, thanks so much for sharing the good, the bad and the ugly, lad.
I appreciate it. It's good to have.
Thanks very much, mate. Nice one.
Cheers.